How we feeling? How we feeling? Welcome back to the collective. We back with some more wrestling talk. We actually starting a new series. We're gonna be doing reviews of the shows that are be going on through the week. So we'll have a Monday night Raw review, a Tuesday night NXT review, Wednesday night Dynamite review. If you guys want, I'll throw some TNA in there. But we'll have a Friday night SmackDown review, and then we'll also have a Collision review on Saturday. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching all the videos that we got on the channel. So we're trying to keep it more consistent for you guys and keep it going. But let's get right into it. So yesterday on Raw, we started off the show with our Women's World Heavyweight Champion, Liv Morgan, cutting a promo, pretty much explaining the revenge tour and why she kissed Dom last week. And then Dom comes out right after that and tells Liv pretty much that mommy's gonna kill her. And Liv responds like, well, she's gonna kill you too. And she goes, but she's gonna make it all worth it, and gets the feeling up on him, trying to seduce him. And Finn has to come out and, and tell her to back off of him. And she says, okay, I'll leave, but what if he doesn't want me to? And Dom doesn't say anything the whole time she's saying all this stuff, but then she leaves and she touches him one last time, and he kind of smiles, which I don't think he was supposed to do. And Pat later exposed him for it in 4K, so that was pretty funny, but that was a good segment. So the way we're going to be rating the segments, we'll do, if it's good, we'll rate it face, and if it's bad, we'll rate it heel. So we're going to rate that first segment a face. So next we had Sheamus doing a little interview right before his match against Ludwig Kaiser. And that was pretty much him talking about how he sees Ludwig as more than just a lackey or one of Gunther's coat holders. And that he might actually have some fight in him. And that's when we get a long shot camera entrance of Sheamus going from there, going into Gorilla and doing his arms out thing. So that was pretty cool. But right as his entrance starts, we get Ludwig Kaiser coming from behind and hitting that bad knee that Sheamus had. So it seems like we're working that knee angle. So then we get into the ring with Ludwig and Sheamus, and they're having a really good match. A lot of chops, a lot of meat slapping, a whole lot of good wrestling. It was really good. And Ludwig being the heel, he was targeting that knee of Sheamus's. And he did really good, honestly. Ludwig's first singles match in a while, and he looked really good in it, and they ended up giving him the win. I didn't really like how they gave him the win off just kicking the knee and then getting a roll-up, but I know they had to protect Sheamus, and they were working that bad knee angle the whole match, so I appreciated that, so I wasn't too mad about it, but overall, I'll give that a face too. The third and fourth segment that we have on there is Judgment Day comes back on screen, and we get Damian Priest checking in with everybody and asking Dom how everything is going with the Liv situation. And they say it's all under control and he has it handled. And then he asks, does Rhea think it's handled? And he says he's giving her some space, but that she's cool. So Damian says he wants them to be all on the same page and get some wins tonight, get some momentum going, and let people know that they're the Judgment Day still. So I'll give that a face. I like that little promo. And then right after that, we had Ilya coming in to check on Ricochet. Well, not really check on him, but to pretty much tell him, like, be careful with Braun, because Ricochet was already injured from that spear he had took from Braun last week. And Ricochet pretty much told him that we're built different, just like Braun. Like, he's no different than me and you. So me and you can finish our little thing, but first I got to go handle Braun. So I really like that. And I like that it shows pretty much that Ricochet and Ilya have respect for each other. And two of my, not my favorites, but two wrestlers I really, really like. So I'll give that a face also. Next after that, we had Dragon Lee versus Finn Balor, and that was a really good match. I knew that was going to be a banger from the beginning. They had some good technical wrestling going on, but the Judgment Day had to interfere. But Dragon Lee was giving them a fight. He was going 3 against 1, and he was taking out everybody. JD, Carlito on the outside, but then he got too distracted, and Finn took advantage of it and got him with the coup de grace and took the win. And then they were jumping Dragon Lee, and then your boy Braun Strowman and Rey Mysterio came out. And I like that they kept this story going that Braun Strowman is after the Judgment Day. So hopefully we'll get a Braun Strowman Damian Priest match in the future, because that would actually be really cool. I'd enjoy that. So I'm gonna give this a face also. So right after that, Priest pretty much tells Carlito that he needs to hold his weight if he wants to be part of the Judgment Day. So to go over to Pierce and make a match with Braun Strowman, since he's been giving them so much problems, and he wanted him to make that match tonight. And the look on Carlito's face was so funny. And then right after that, we get R-Truth pretty much telling him, like, hey man, the Judgment Day, that was the best time of my life. You know, they kick you when you're up, they kick you when you're down. But I had a really good time. And then Miz just comes out of the camera and he's like, we're the World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. How was that the best time of your life? And you know R-Truth, being R-Truth. And he tells Miz that he's obsessed with the Judgment Day and he needs to let go. So, so I'll give that a face. R-Truth definitely saved that segment. It wasn't a bad segment, but just adding R-Truth to it, got to give it a face for sure. So after that, we get actually one of my favorite storylines that's going on right now. Sami Zayn comes out to cut a promo about how the thorn in his side, Chad Gable, needs to be dealt with. And as he's cutting that promo, Alpha Academy's music hits. And you think it's Chad Gable coming out, but it's actually Maxine, Otis, and Tozawa. And they're holding a note in their hand. And they're coming out to say that they're apologizing, but Chad says that Sammy's not worth his time or his energy today, and that they have to come out and deliver this message to pretty much redeem themselves for messing up last week. And Sammy is telling Maxine that she doesn't have to do this, but she continues anyway. And Chad pretty much says how everybody there is worthless without him, and he made everybody a better person, making fun of the whole group, including Sammy. And then he goes on to say that he wants a match against Sammy for the Intercontinental Championship to end it. And Sammy says, you know what, I'll accept it if that's what it takes to end all of this. At Clash of the Castle, me and him were on. And as he's talking to the Alpha Academy, giving them a pep talk, saying that you guys don't need him, you guys need to leave him. Like, I know how it feels. Like, I was under him also, but I had to get away from him because he's vindictive, you know. And as he's telling him this, Chad Gable comes from behind and attacks him. And they were chanting Otis's name so loud while Chad Gable was beating up Sammy, but he didn't do anything. And then Chad Gable wanted Otis to hit Sammy, and Otis wouldn't do it, so he got in his face and slapped him. And that's when Tozawa had stepped up to Chad Gable, and then he started yelling at Tozawa, and that's when Maxine had stepped up. And he told Maxine, if you want me to stop, get on your knees and beg me to stop, which she did. And that was so crazy. I felt so bad for Maxine. And he was yelling at them to both get out of the ring. And that's when Otis stepped up. And when Otis stepped up, Sammy had enough time to get himself together. And that's when he started hitting Chad Gable. Otis went back to pretty much tell Maxine and Tozawa to get out of the ring. And as they're getting out of the ring and Otis is turned around, Chad Gable throws Sammy into Otis and knocks Maxine and Tozawa off the ring apron, hurting them. And Otis is hesitating, not knowing who to attack. And Chad Gable and Sami Zayn are both pointing fingers, blaming each other. And Otis ends up picking up Sami Zayn and giving him a body slam. And then Chad Gable is picking up the Intercontinental Championship, holding it up, while Otis picks up the hurt Maxine and Tozawa and carries them to the back, with Maxine carried like a baby and Tozawa on his shoulders. You have to give that a face, man. This is one of the best stories going on in WWE right now. It honestly feels like a movie, and it's so good because you want Otis to turn on Chad, but he can't. It's his master. It's the person who he's been with from damn near the beginning. And it would be too rushed for it to just happen so quick. So I think it might be at Clash of the Castle when Otis finally turns on Gable. So we have a couple more matches after that. We have Ricochet and Braun Breaker, which all I got to say about that is Frankensteiner and Spear. That match was great. Amazing match with Frankensteiner and Spear. All I gotta say about that match. And then Ilya comes out because Braun Breaker loses his temper again and grabs steel steps and goes to throw him at Ricochet. Ilya comes out and he throws him at Ilya and misses, and Ilya catches him with a right. And I think they're trying to set up this Braun Breaker, Ilya, and Ricochet triple threat, and I hope it's at Clash of the Castle because that will be a banger of a match. It doesn't even need a title involved. That will be so good of a match. I've given that a face. So Braun Strowman and Carlito was the next one, and that was pretty much a squash match. The whole point of that match was what happened after. So when Braun won, the Judgment Day immediately came in and got to jumping him, but he got the upper hand and ended up taking everybody out. And Dom was going to hit Braun with a steel chair, and he knocked it down out of his hand. And as he was walking towards Dom on the outside of the ring, and Liv came out and stopped Braun, which got Braun to leave Dom alone. And then Liv got to walking towards Dom all seductively again. And then Finn had to come out and stop her again and tell her to back up off of him. But again, he didn't say anything or he didn't stop her. So this is looking real bad on Dom. So I'm going to give it a face just for the ending part. I would say heel for that match because it was too quick and it was short. It was just a squash match. It wasn't that good. But for that after segment, face for sure. So next we had the Black Avengers come out and cut a promo on Raw. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, which soon got interrupted by Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, claiming that they were ducking and dodging them, trying not to come on Raw and see them. And they said, if y'all think we ducking and dodging, we can have this match right now. We can do this right now for the titles. And that's when Pierce comes out and confirms it. And they have a really good match, which then gets interfered by the Unholy Union. And man, this is going to set up that match for Clash of the Castle, because they'll bring the Scottish girls out and they'll be not the faces, but they'll be getting most of the cheers, while Bianca and Jade might be getting hated for the first time. So that'll be a very interesting dynamic to see. So I'll give that segment a face. So after that, we had a couple more segments. We had Jey Uso come out and declare for the Money in the Bank. We had Io interrupt Lyra's interview and attack her. So we're getting a really unhinged Io right now that's just going around throwing fits and attacking Lyra, causing her that Queen of the Ring loss. So I'm going to give both of those faces, because I'm excited about Jay being in the Money in the Bank. It's just me, Uso, and then they're setting up that Io versus Lyra. And if that's at Clash of the Castle, I'm so down for that for sure. So our main event we had was Damian Priest, the world champion, going against Rey Mysterio. And honestly, they should have put the title on the line. That would have made it a little more exciting. But it was a good match, though. Rey Mysterio is 50 years old, still putting on good matches. Like, it wasn't no short match. He didn't have to be carried. He be doing really good for 50 years old in the ring. So that was exciting to see too. So Damian took the win on this, and the only problem I had though was that they had the Judgment Day come out and kind of distract Rey a little bit, which gave Damian the time to give a South of Heaven from the top rope. And the Judgment Day also helped in that match against Jey Uso, and I really want them to show that Damian is strong by himself, because I'm a fan of DP, and if they have to keep showing the Judgment Day has to interfere or distract in order for him to win, it don't really give him a lot of credibility as champion, But right after that, when Damian won, we got Drew McIntyre coming in and attacking him, giving him a Future Shock DDT, and he got ready to hit him with the Claymore, and the Judgment Day came in and saved him. And as they were giving Drew a fight, that gave Damian enough time to pretty much get up and attack Drew, and they took him to the outside and South of Heaven him through the announce table. So I ain't gonna lie, they are making Damian look strong, because he did look really strong in that match with Rey Mysterio, and it pretty much showed how strong he was, putting Drew McIntyre big ass through a table. So I did like that, I will say that. So I'll have to give that segment a face. Honestly, I think I gave everything a face. This was a really good episode of Monday Night Raw. We had really good matches from in-ring work perspective. We had some good promos that led to future PLEs, and some for Clash of the Castle too. And we got some more Uncle Howdy stuff I know y'all probably tired of, but the QR codes are cool. And they said that Uncle Howdy was in the crowd, like, in the cut. Like, I'll show a picture, but I did not see that last night. And then that was actually in that video from the QR code for people that were saying that it wasn't him. So that's actually pretty creepy, how nobody in the stands didn't say nothing or see him. But that's all we got for today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in today on this Monday Night Raw review. We're going to have an NXT review coming up tonight, too. So check that out. Also, check out that In the Violent Nature review, because honestly, that's a controversial movie right now. But a lot of people are saying they liked it. A lot of people are saying it's trash. Me, personally, I did like it. I would say it's good, but it needed a couple more things to it, So check that review out and see what you guys think. You guys have a good one.